Hi, welcome to this TIER webinar. Today's webinar is a sneak peek of what's coming up with TIER during the 2020 to 2021 school year. My name is Sarah Powell. I work at the University of Texas at Austin and the Meadows Center for Preventing Educational Risk, and I'm very excited to be your host for today's webinar. Before we talk about what's upcoming with TIER, let's review what we've been doing on TIER since the late summer of 2019 through this summer of 2020. TIER is one of 9 technical assistance networks funded by the Texas Education Agency. Previously, TIER was referred to as Intervention Best Practices, so you still might see some reference to the project with that name. TIER is designed to provide a comprehensive and coherent plan for intervention best practice across the state of Texas, and we are couching that plan within multi-tiered systems of support. So, one of the first things we did this year was to decide on a name for our network. We wanted our name to represent the focus of our network on best practices related to MTSS. We also wanted to stress the importance of using evidence based practices when providing support to students. So, we selected the name TIER. That stands for Tiered Interventions Using Evidence Based Research. And we feel this name represents the scope of our network very well. After we decided on a project name, the second thing we did this year was to outline a set of modules related to best practice for MTSS. We started with a set of 10 modules. 3 modules represent introductory information about MTSS for educators, that's the introduction module, leadership, that's the leadership module, and for community members, such as caregivers or other stakeholders. And their information is under the module called Communities. We have 2 modules that focus on behavior within MTSS. One module is titled Behavior, the other is Mental Health. We also have 2 modules that are focused on academics within MTSS. One is titled Academics, the other is titled Culturally Responsive. And we have 3 modules that focus on assessments and their use within MTSS. We have a module about screening, a module about progress monitoring, and a module about decision making within an MTSS framework. Now, each of these 10 modules is designed to be implemented in its entirety or by pathway. And pathway is a new term. We use the word pathway to represent each individual presentation within a module. And for each of these pathways, a pathway is designed to be implemented in its entirety, but pathways could also be condensed or combined. We intend for these pathways to be delivered 2 different ways: in person or on demand. In person use is intended to be delivered by ESCs, LEAs, or faculty. For in person use, a trainer can download a presentation and the set of handouts and deliver the training in person to their audience, whether that is teachers at an ESC or pre service teachers in a university classroom. We realize that many trainings will now be held virtually, and these materials can be used for any virtual training. Now, on demand use is intended to be accessed by individual stakeholders who can't attend a training or who want to learn information at their own pace. We intended for each pathway to be video recorded and placed on the TIER website for people to watch on their own. But due to travel restrictions from this global pandemic, we haven't finished as many video recordings as we would like, but do stay tuned. Many video recordings will hopefully be recorded this fall. Another activity we've been working on this year is designing and setting up the TIER website. All of our materials will be posted on the TIER website. As you can imagine, there are many levels of review and editing for each pathway, so we are posting the materials as quickly as we finish them. Right now, there are 2 sets of materials that you can access on the TIER website that you might be interested in. First are the modules, and I'll talk about those on the next slide. Second are the webinars. For this webinar and all of our other previously recorded webinars, you can click on Webinars on the front page of the TIER website, and you can access these webinars at any time. Now on the TIER website, you can click on the word Modules to find the materials for the 10 modules. As you look at the 10 modules, if you want to know more about a module, click on Learn More, and I'll show you an example from the Introduction module. If we click on Learn More, it takes you to a page that looks like this. As you access the Introduction module, you will see the finished pathways highlighted on the page, and you'll also see a list of pathways that are coming soon. Here, coming soon, are the 3-tier model, problem-solving teams, student-centered approaches, and supports for referrals. But a pathway that's already available is the pathway called Database Individualization within MTSS. Here you can see we've already created the video and it's been posted. On the right, you can click on Download PowerPoint, and that will download an entire PowerPoint presentation that you can use. And if you click on Download Handouts, it will download a set of handouts that you can use when you are doing your training. So you can see that during this school year, we worked very hard to prepare 10 modules with almost 60 different pathways. Now let's turn our attention to this upcoming year, which starts in the next few months. We've been working with TEA to determine what TIER will do for the next school year, and we've set on 15 different activities that will occur during the upcoming school year. Some of these activities are internal activities. These will be conducted by the TIER team to keep the TIER project moving forward and to meet the needs of TEA. But many of our activities are external facing, and we're most excited about these activities because they will enable us to start working with our TIER affiliates at the ESCs and the LEAs and to involve more people across Texas in TIER. So now I'll talk briefly about each of these 15 activities. One activity we're going to do this year is going to focus on TIER trainers. We're going to create a way for stakeholders to become TIER trainers. We will offer TIER training by module, pathway, or sets of pathways. For example, if you plan to deliver the TIER material about behavior, you could become a TIER trainer on the modules titled Behavior and Mental Health. If you want to deliver in-depth mathematics information to your stakeholders, you could become a TIER trainer on the pathway about the 3-tier model, the pathway about screening in mathematics, the pathway about progress monitoring in mathematics, the pathway about decision making, and the pathways about elementary and secondary mathematics, as well as the pathways about culturally and linguistically responsive pedagogy in mathematics. Now, we'll be seeking TIER trainers in August and September. So read your TIER emails for information about how to become a TIER trainer. Another activity that we're very excited about is a model demonstration activity. With a model demonstration project, a team works collaboratively and intensively with a school to figure out what works best for that school. And then we share that information with other schools so that they can figure out, well, what would work best for them. With our model demonstration project, we will work with 10 schools across Texas. We will be recruiting elementary, middle, and high schools to participate in our model demonstration project. Then these schools would work with our TIER team to determine their needs related to MTSS. And then based on those needs assessments, the schools would receive TIER trainings to support MTSS implementation, and schools would also receive TIER coaching. All of this would be provided free to the schools. So we will be recruiting our first cohort of TIER schools in August and September. And if you are ready to get involved, look for the notice on our TIER weekly emails. Another activity we're very excited about this year is related to coaching. we're going to develop a comprehensive coaching program to go along with the tier modules and pathways. To do this, we will first work with TEA to attend a training session about coaching. And this coaching session will be provided by the National Center for Systemic Improvement. And then we'll use that information to develop coaching protocols for use by coaches in schools. And as we develop these coaching materials, we will be seeking tier affiliates to provide feedback on the coaching protocols. So if you are interested in helping us out with coaching, do look for information in the weekly tier email about how to get involved. Another activity for this year will be collaboration with TEA on virtual environments. Because schools this upcoming year may be providing instruction to students in person or online, or in person and online, we'll be working with TEA to provide a set of resources related to virtual teaching and learning. So we're going to conduct a series of webinars about academic intervention in virtual settings and behavioral intervention in virtual settings. And soon we're going to be asking for success stories related to implementation of virtual interventions. If you have a success story you'd like to share with us, check out the weekly tier email for details. Another activity we'll be working on this year is maintaining the project website. As you might expect, we'll be adding many resources to the website this year. We'll probably be adding something new every week. So keep up to date with our website by visiting tier.tea.texas.gov. One of the sets of resources we will add to the website will be resources and tools from the Office of Special Education Programs. These are materials that have already been produced, and we will include these on the TIER website for easy access. Another thing that you will see on the website are rebuilt TBSI modules. TBSI stands for the Texas Behavior Support Initiative, and we are working on updating the TBSI module. It is accessed by approximately 15,000 people each year. We're updating it so that it's not running on outdated technology. And hopefully this TBSI module will be available on the TIER website starting in August. Also on the website, we will be posting completed video recordings recorded in our Lightboard recording studio at the University of Texas. Our recording schedule was delayed due to pandemic travel restrictions, but as soon as those are lifted and we can get some of our developers to come to Austin and visit us, we will resume recording these videos. Another activity for this upcoming school year is related to a DBI module. DBI stands for Data-Based Individualization. And we've been asked by TEA to add an 11th module to TIER for this upcoming year. This module will focus exclusively on DBI and how DBI works within an MTSS framework. We will be relying on the DBI framework and modeling from the National Center on Intensive Intervention as we design this module. And I ask, has your school been implementing DBI with moderate levels of success? If so, we will be asking for DBI success stories to add to our DBI module, and we'll be soliciting those success stories through our weekly tier emails. Another activity we will do this year is related to needs assessments. We will develop needs assessments to help schools prioritize which tier modules and pathways they should access. We will be using these needs assessments in our model demonstration project, and we will be asking for feedback on the needs assessments from our tier affiliates. One activity I'm very excited about for the upcoming year is the development of mathematics progress monitoring measures. This upcoming year, we will develop computation measures for grades K through 6 that align with the TEKS. And we will be placing these computation measures on the TIER website as they become available. We will have a set of equivalent measures at each grade level so that you could use these for progress monitoring to determine which students are responding well within an MTSS framework and which students need more help. And we will be asking for expert feedback on the computation measures. So if you are well versed in mathematics and you are really interested in progress monitoring in mathematics, we will be asking for expert feedback this upcoming fall and spring. And we will be working with our partners at Southern Methodist University to develop these mathematics progress monitoring measures. As we think about the pathways, one of the activities we'll be doing this year is moving the pathways to Canvas courses. So using a TEA-sponsored Canvas website, we will place each pathway in a separate Canvas course. This year, we're going to take 2 modules and develop Canvas courses for the pathways within those 2 modules. We will do the module Introduction, and we will also do the module Leadership for a total of 12 pathways translated to Canvas courses. Now, for the upcoming year, we're going to focus on our tier affiliates. We are going to provide ongoing communication about tier. We are going to conduct activities with our tier affiliates, maybe working on coaching or the model demonstration project or the mathematics progress monitoring measures. We're going to continue to email regularly and provide support as needed and as asked. So here is an example of one of our weekly emails. Right now, we're in this period called Webinar Wednesday, where we release a new webinar every Wednesday. For the next few weeks, we may not have a webinar that's released, but do keep reading these emails because anytime we're asking for schools to participate in the model demonstration project, when we're looking for tier trainers, all of that information will be in that weekly email. Another thing that we'll be doing this upcoming year is surveying our tier affiliates and tier users. So we will be collecting feedback about how tier trainers and tier users use the modules and the pathways. We'll be collecting feedback on the tier training, how did that go? And then any coaching that is provided alongside the tier pathways. Again, we will be collecting a lot of survey information through our tier weekly emails. So please read those each week and help us out if you can. And our final activity this year will be collaboration with the other 8 networks. We will be working with the other networks when requested. Maybe we might provide content review, consultation, or collaboration. And we're very excited to work with all 8 of the other networks. So that was a review of the 15 activities TIER will be doing across the upcoming school year. For the most up-to-date materials for TIER, please visit our TIER website. We are updating the TIER website almost daily as we finish pathways and receive approval to post the materials. Another way to keep in touch with TIER is through our weekly emails. We have been using these to release our webinars throughout the spring and summer, and now we'll be sharing more information about the TIER project in these weekly emails. If you're interested in participating as a tier trainer or in the model demonstration project, we'll be seeking participants through the email. So be sure to check them out each week and feel free to forward with others. And if you want to subscribe, contact our tier team member, David Barrett. There's his email address. It's dbarrett@austin.utexas.edu. So thank you so much for tuning in to this TIER webinar. We're very grateful to the Texas Education Agency for trusting us to put together all of the TIER modules and pathways. And we are really looking forward to this upcoming school year where we get to work with our TIER affiliates, people like you, and many others across the state of Texas. Have a great day.